Hello, my name is Kris Verheyen. I'm from the Department of Environment and the Natural Capital Research Platform. And together with my colleagues Lander Baten and Hans Verbeek, we want to show you how our research helps to support global reforestation ambitions. Forests are a dominant land cover on Earth. They cover nearly 4 billion hectares and store almost 50% of the terrestrial carbon. Therefore, forests are really key for climate change mitigation. Therefore, it's no surprise that forests are considered important nature-based solutions to address climate change and biodiversity loss, while at the same time supporting sustainable development. Forest conservation and restoration is therefore a key point of attention these days. Forests are considered important nature-based solutions at different policy levels. For instance, globally, there's the New York Declaration on Forests that states that by 2030, 350 million hectares of forest should be restored. Also at the European level, forests figure prominently. For instance, in the European Union's Green Deal and Biodiversity Strategy to 2030, it is stated that no less than 3 billion trees should be planted in the EU by 2030. And also in Flanders, forest restoration is in the spotlight. The minister has engaged herself to expand the forest area at 4,000 hectares by 2024 and no less than 10,000 hectares by 2030. However, forest restoration is not as simple as it seems. These days, forests are subjected to many stresses, including stresses from the climate, think about droughts for instance, but also biotic stressors, for instance invasive species. These conditions make forest restoration really a challenging task. The increasing number and importance of stressors impacting forest health therefore forces us to carefully think about which species to plant where, and also to move away from simplified single species plantations, which are still dominating in many reforestation campaigns. Hence the key question is, how can we create resilient and future-proof forests? This challenge is once again shown here on this slide. So on the left-hand side, it's about which species to plant where, and then if we know which species to use, how to plant them, in which combinations to plant them, so that we achieve true resilience for the future. Now to tackle this challenge, we adopt a three-stage rocket strategy for future-proof forests. And at the bottom line, there is a mechanistic understanding about forest functioning and especially about mixed forest functioning. Next, we want to upscale these results to multiple environmental contexts and also different socio-ecological contexts. And finally, we want to use this knowledge to translate the results to practice in a true transdisciplinary setting. Let's first look at the first stage of the rocket, and that is how to obtain mechanistic understanding. To achieve this mechanistic understanding, we at Ghent University have been heavily involved in the establishment of large-scale experiments. And one of these large-scale experiments is a so-called Forbio tree diversity experiment. It is an experiment established at 3 sites in Belgium, in the northern part of Belgium and also in the southern part. It was established in 2010, and no less than 90,000 trees were established on 27 hectares of land. And in this experiment we have established monoculture plots, so composed of one single tree species, and then all the way up to 4 species mixtures. Together, the 3 sites and the 90,000 trees comprise one of the largest tree diversity experiments in the world. And since the establishment of the experiment in 2010, there's been a continuous flow of research on the functioning of more or less mixed forests. And here is an example of one of these results that we obtained, showing that in more diverse plantations, so the higher the number of tree species, we do see also an increased productivity. So these forests seem to grow faster. Then we move to the second stage of the rocket, so by upscaling insights to multiple environmental contexts and also multiple socio-ecological contexts. To do so, we built a global network called TreeDivNet. TreeDivNet is a unique platform for ecosystem research in tree diversity experiments worldwide, and it brings together tree diversity experiments from all over the world, including the boreal zone, the temperate zone, and the tropical zone. In total, 233 species are included in the network, and no less than 1 million trees have been planted. Also, over the years, almost 175 publications have been published based on these experiments. Several PhD theses have been completed, and in total the network now comprises 43 partners. So a true global network allowing to study the effects of tree species diversity on forest ecosystem functioning on a global scale. And recently we also obtained funding for cross-network research projects. And one of these projects is the Cambio project. Cambio is a large project funded by the BNP Paribas Foundation and aims at studying the response of more or less mixed forests to drought. This project is coordinated by Lander Bate from Ghent University and involves many partners from across the world. This brings us to the third stage of the rocket, and that is the translation of results to practice in a true transdisciplinary setting. And to do this translation of results to practice, we collaborate. Among others, we collaborate with the FAO, so the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, especially with the Planted Forest Division. And by doing so, we really try to bridge the gap between science and practice and try to reach key audiences who can actually apply the results. And this includes practitioners, policymakers, and also the general public. And next to working with intermediary organizations such as the FAO, we also do hands-on work ourselves. For instance, in collaboration with the NGO BOS Plus, a 400-hectare reforestation project was initiated in Ecuador. This is a so-called TreeDivNet forest funded by the telecom operator Telenet. And so 400 hectares of forest were established in 2011 with the help of local NGOs and of course in collaboration with the local landowners. And since then we help to monitor the success of the plantation, looking at how the tree establish, how fast they grow, and how much carbon is actually sequestered in this system. And here specifically, Hans Verbeek is heavily involved, one of the colleagues in the Natural Capital Research Platform and at the Department of Environment. Now I would like to end my presentation with some take-home messages. I hope it's clear that over the years we have developed here at Ghent University extensive expertise on forest restoration, and also that over the years we've become a key actor in large international networks such as TreeDivNet. Finally, it is also clear, hopefully, that we also have the ambition to really bridge the gap between basic research and real applications in the field, so that we can really help to meet these global reforestation ambitions. I thank you for your attention, and I'm happy to answer any further questions.